Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1320, written by Anonymous. A mysterious turn of luck. I had accepted a very speculative contract position with the most powerful company in my field. Regular full-time entry-level hirees made $40,000 to $50,000, but as a contractor, I made $11 an hour. This was 2011. I moved across the country with nothing and lived in an extended stay. Eventually, I was hired as a regular full-time at $55,000, but that first year was rough. One day, I found that I had one way or another misplaced $250. This was my extended stay rent for the next week. I suspect it was taken from my wallet at a small local bar I used to stop into on Fridays after work. I was checking to check. I had no clue how I was going to live the following week. The next morning, Saturday, as I'm scrambling to figure out where my money went, my development director calls me. A couple of QA testers were being flown in to interview from embedded positions, and since we were crunching, we were going to do the interviews on Sunday. Could I take the company van and pick them up at the airport and get them dinner? Sure. So, I'm walking to the bus stop. It had poured the day before. As I'm walking past the several consecutive vacant lots between my motel and the bus, I come across, lying in a puddle 3 inches deep, a roll of 20s. No wallet, no ID, no reason anyone would walk here. Really, $580. I took it to work and let it dry under my fan in my cubicle, grabbed the van, did what I had to do for the day, went back to the office, grabbed the now dry bills, and went back to the hotel. Asked if anyone had reported lost money. No. And said, well, if anyone does, call my room. Called the Altamonte Springs PD. Nothing reported. I was honestly hoping the good deed of returning the money would instill enough trust with the hotel management that I could return the money and they'd let me slide for a week. No avenue afforded me in a way to return it. I used it to pay for my next 2 weeks in the hotel. It saved my life. I still to this day agonize over what became of whoever lost it. But thank you. Case notes for file 1320. A mysterious turn of luck. So here I am thinking, can the universe itself or whoever controls it truly just materialize matter in the world? Or was this some guardian angel event where the guardian angel actually took money from someone else to put it in that old bundle of water there? Or maybe someone was walking across it and the guardian angel thought, okay, this person, you, need it more than them. So they just disconnected it from their wallet or something. You said it was like a wad of money. So somehow maybe it fell from their backpack or a briefcase or something they were carrying, but not by accident. Is it just pure chance and luck? I cannot say no. Can never just say no to that. But I do it is more fun to think that something else is intervening. But if that is the case, it makes you wonder, are they intervening at the expense of someone else? Did someone else really lose, $580? Especially, did they need it? Maybe if they didn't need it at all, like they were a millionaire, it's not so bad then. But it is sad, to think, okay, I was helped, but at the expense of someone else. I hope that isn't the case. But damn, it really did save you. That's amazing. Universe, guardian angel, or pure chance. Props to you for trying to return it anyways, even though there was no ID or anything. If there was ID, then I would always try to return it. I know who it belongs to, no matter how much money it is. $10,000, $100,000, a briefcase full of money. Then you have to wonder, is this crime money or something? But generally, as long as I know who it belongs to, I would try to return it. But if there's no one, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily trust that the police wouldn't just take it for themselves or the receptionist or anything. So unless there's ID, I would just take it. There's no real way to know who it belongs to at that point. Unless there's security cameras or something, but even then, how would you find the ID of someone even if you saw their face? You can't just run facial ID or anything, so you have a very good spirit for trying to do that. Props to you. Bonus file written by Dutchy. Eerie encounters in the Ardennes forest. I was walking through a forest at night with a small group of around 4 in the Ardennes. It was kind of a game. We and a couple of other groups would be dropped into the forest at night, and the group that got back first to the farm we stayed in won. and got bragging rights. However, that night, something happened that has left me confused and scared of that forest, and I will not go back in there anytime soon. So, we were walking and trying to get any hint of the path we should take when we all heard it. Something screamed horrendously. Imagine a tire screech combined with a person screaming, with something else mixed in. We all stood still. We weren't sure of what to do, but after about 5 minutes, we started to walk again, but I felt like I was being watched. I eventually asked the others if they also had that feeling. That was the wrong thing to ask, because they all basically said yes in different ways, creeping all of us out way more. We walked for like an hour, hearing random twigs snap and bushes move. We all had the feeling we were being followed, but had no idea by what. Eventually, a guy named Tobias began to act weirdly freaked out. He asked if we heard him. He asked who. He said he heard a good friend. I forgot what friend's name. The friend was not with us on vacation. And we asked if Tobias was okay and what the friend said. And it was so quiet for a few seconds when we all heard that friend talking from the darkness in the woods. Everyone stood still, frozen in fear. After a bit, we started to walk again, all scared of what we just heard. We all heard from different directions every 20 to 35 minutes about a person who we knew, but also knew that person could not be here with us. I heard from a friend who was still back in the Netherlands. My dad, who was also in the Netherlands too. I was around 99% sure I heard my younger brother all saying something along the lines of, "Please come to me," or "I need your help," or "I'm stuck." I literally started to cry from the stress and fear, and I was a freaking adult. Walking through a dark, creepy forest while hearing people you know can't be there is so freaking scary, and we all heard the ones from each other, so we knew that we weren't all hallucinating or going crazy. One guy, I think his name was either Rob, Raul, or Paul, eventually managed to find the way back to that farm, and we were all so relieved. There were maybe 30 people at that farm, and most did not believe us or asked us if we did drugs or something. Sometimes I wondered if we breathed in some natural gas or something and started to hallucinate. Nothing like that has ever happened again to any of the people on the farm, but I've always wondered what the hell was going on that night, and I have never gotten any answers. If anyone is wondering where this took place, the farm we stayed in is named Mauvaise Pierre. Case notes for the bonus file: Eerie encounters in the Ardennes forest. So I'm thinking of two possibilities here. Either the area in that forest that you were in was able to, almost like a gravity well, pull in the spirits of people that you are connected to, and in their days of being transported there, just their spirits of course, they were calling out for help. So in that case it wouldn't be malicious, it would just be strange. The other possibility is it was an entity, a monster, or a spirit that was trying to lure you in. There's a lot of lore in this where certain monsters, creatures, anomalies, supernatural beings are not able to directly attack someone unless they are brought in. There's like a certain level of consent that's necessary. So unless you provide that, like the vampire crossing the threshold or other such things where you're being lured in, not attacked or chased, you have to make the choice to go and follow the voice. Good thing you didn't. Do not follow random voices in the forest. Definitely good sound advice, yes. And now time for the quote of the day. A fool's brain digests philosophy into folly, science into superstition, and art into pedantry. Hence, university education. George Bernard Shaw. It is interesting how you can take something pure, like art and science and philosophy, and distill it down, or rather corrupt it down, burn it down, into something that is not meant to be. Have you ever seen modern art now? I've seen some videos where people are just poking a hole in a bucket of sand and letting this, like there's multiple buckets, and just let it fall over. Like $50 million for that. I'm not going to say you can't do that. I don't get it, and I don't think it's real art. I don't think it's expressing anything. I think it's just people doing wacky things. Like, that's something I would do as a kid on the beach. And okay, it's fun, but I'm not going to ask $50 million from someone for doing that. What are you expressing? And it's not just expression too. There's really no talent in it. There's no, like, paintings. I can connect with that because I'm not a painter. I'm not an artist. I can't paint. I can draw a stick figure. That's pretty much the extent of my artistic capabilities. And then I see someone that is able to paint this incredible, lifelike face or a mountain range or the people that go out into the wild and just bring an art stool and just canvas away and recreate what they see in nature. I find that incredibly captivating and impressive. And that is expressing the beauty of the world through skill and talent. Or if you're expressing something purely creative, you're using skill to do it too. There's something to be cherished and prized in that. And this applies in philosophy as well. And if you try to get a philosophy paper published, or it's gobbledygook. They have an AI generator or something that they ran through and they created a paper. You get this in the social sciences and other loose fields like that, where they submitted it to an actual publication and had it published. And it means nothing at all. There's no value in that. Philosophy is supposed to be simple and connect to people and, tell them how to live. What is the ideal way to live? I think we've lost track. I think if we have a perfect life, a perfect society, where, our basic needs are met, and there's no danger, we kind of lose track of our minds. We go a bit insane. You see that in modern society now, I think. I think a lot of people will be very well suited in just going back to nature, at least for a bit, have a retreat, and just do some gardening or fishing if you want to, and just enjoy the natural world and connect with it and get your hands dirty and do some physical work. If there's anything that is good for you, it's to use your body. Your mind too, but your body. You need to use your body, because if not, you're going to be lost in your mind and your mind's going to go into a feedback loop that is not healthy. We're kind of stuck in that. Anyways, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.